All right. Anyways, what's our next story? Scammers.
What are we gonna do? Scammers? You want to do scammers?
Let's do scammers. All right. I got one more beer. Huh?
How many scams you got?
Well, I got the one in my head.
Hey, this is Joe and Tom from Drunken of the Sun.
Another fucking fun drunk episode coming to you courtesy of Drunken of the Sun. Anything in life's work could have been ahead of you. Tom and Joe from Drunken of the Sun.
Join us every week on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Spotify.
Yeah. Podcast that's about anything and everything under the sun.
Check it out.
Joe's drunk.
Yeah, we both are fucking drunk.
Stop it. Like when it happened. Alright. I'm going to start this show off and it's going to be proper. I'm going to start the show off proper. Okay, and then I'm going to pass it off because you look like you have a bunch of scams. So thank God. Alright, are you ready? Get your shit to control. Get it under control.
Shut the fuck up.
Hey, what up, y'all? This is Drunken with Joe and Tom. And guess what? We're back with another funky funk, drunky drunk, drunk of the sun
probably more
style
drunk than
shit
anything.
with you. No. We're not. No.
Maybe I am. I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyways,
I'm pretty fucked up. Anyways, so tonight we're going to talk to you about something that really pissed me off not too long ago.
Hell yeah.
Scammers. These motherfuckers are everywhere. And let me tell you what really pissed me off, because the finale of The Mandalorian happened,
and I
was ecstatic. The day was ahead of me. Yeah. Everything was beautiful. The Mandalorian ended in a way that I could never imagine. I was like, this is the greatest day of my life. I went to work. I was even happy that people were shitting on me and didn't give a fuck. I'm just like, the Mandalorian was a shit. This is an awesome day.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden I get a phone call. I'm like, ring, 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 ring. I'm like, you know what? I'm in a good mood today. I'll answer it. Normally, I don't answer it and I let it go to voicemail. And I'm like, fuck these people. I don't know who this is.
Yeah.
This day, such a good mood.
On top of the world.
On top of the world, because the Mandalorian had Luke Skywalker! Anyways, it was fucking awesome. Anyways, so I answered it, and I hear this voice go, hello, we've found activity reported of your Social Security in El Paso, Texas, right? And I'm like, what? They go, please press 1 to connect with a officer. And I'm like,
holy
okay,
shit.
Right? So I'm like, and El Paso, I'm like, it's across the border. I don't want to sound racist because I'm not, but there's a lot of fucking shady motherfuckers in El Paso and across the border called cartels, drug cartels, and they do steal people's identity. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck. So I press 1, and it goes, thank you for pressing 1. Hold for an officer. And I'm like, fuck. Right? Yeah. And all of a sudden it rings through and some young chick picks up, yeah. Because the voice sounded like an older chick, right?
Yeah.
And this one was a young chick. She's like, hello? I'm like, hello? She's like, what do you want? I go, you called me about someone using my Social Security number? I'm like, what the fuck? So then I called back. I'm like, these piece of shits. I'm like, oh, you want to fuck with me? Here we go. So I dialed it and it said, this number is not in service. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what the fuck?
That is
wild. Now I'm thinking, this is scammers. I had 3 thoughts going in my head. The first thought was, holy fuck, I need to kill these fucks. They're going to steal my money. All the shit that I worked for, I got to get rid of I got to find them. Yeah. So I was heading to my computer to contact the FCC, because that's what I do when I find scammers. Contact FCC, like, fuck this number. Fuck this number. Fuck these people. Right?
Yeah.
So then my second thought was, well, maybe you scared them off. Because a lot of scams that I've heard is people, like, they
rely on, like, fear?
They start, they're like, oh, what's the matter? How can I help? And they're like, oh, well, you have to do this, and this. They start.
You were more...
And I was more aggressive. Yeah. I was more aggressive. Like, what the fuck? So then I thought maybe they're going to give up on me. Okay. And then the third thought was, Well, they were probably looking for an old person, a senile person, and I sounded young and vibrant, and they hung up. So I had those three thoughts going through me, and I'm like, so every hour, within the hour, I was checking my bank account, checking everything, and I'm like, oh shit, I expected my $7 in my bank account to be gone. I was like, oh shit, negative. I'm like, -7. I had 7. You know, I was waiting for that, and I was just like, and then it started pissing me off.
Yeah.
Because I was like, these piece of shits.
Yeah.
They don't even have the audacity or the balls to put a gun in my face. They call me on a phone because I've heard of scams where when you say yes, they record your voice and then they use that to use it on your credit cards and shit so they can rack up. Because then they rack up all these points. They rack up money. So, like, say they order a bunch of shit online or through the phone, and they say yes, and you have your voice saying that. Yeah. They'll play it so it
sounds like you.
Sounds like
you.
So
even if you say it wasn't me, you're like, well, that's you.
That's you, right? Yeah. And it activates your shit, and they scam it. So I'm sitting there going, these piece of shits. I'm like, they fucking tried to call me like like I was being nice. They took my fucking happy day and made me piss the fuck off, right? And then I was just starting. And then what really made me mad, I was like, I have more respect for someone who has a gun in my face, who has the balls, who stand in front of me and say, give me your money, than someone who just says, hey, man, we're with so-and-so.
That's a lot of it, though. Yeah.
Dude, and it pissed me off. I was so mad. And because it's not the first time that scammers try to hit me, but I was so mad, man.
Yeah, because little things like that can just ruin your whole fucking day.
It ruined it.
Oh, man.
Because now I was spending my day checking my bank account.
Instead of enjoying the Mandalorian.
Enjoying the Mandalorian finale.
Yeah. They took that away from you.
Took it away from me.
That's what they got. They took that away. Hopefully that's all they took.
Yeah. Fuck them. Fuck them people.
Just this past week, speaking of phone calls, they call my parents all the time with all different types of scams. Like, the first scam they would get is Microsoft calling them because there's a virus on their PC and it needs removed or whatever.
Oh.
Microsoft is not going to call.
Yeah, why would they?
Why would they call? They want that shit to break so you buy a new one.
Exactly.
They're not going to call you.
Exactly.
Imagine the amazing customer service if they would call you and be like, hey, but that means they're spying on you too. Because they'd know you had a virus.
It'd be fucked up.
But anyways,
that'd be
they get a lot of old people that way because they don't know about technology or how people do it. They're like, oh, okay, well, what do I do? And then, give a credit card number or some shit over the phone, and then boom.
And then they got them.
Yep. But luckily enough, my parents were smart.
And they don't fall for it?
They didn't fall for it. And just this past week, my mom started getting a new one. We just upgraded the phone on the account, and I think that's what triggered it because they were calling her and saying her iCloud was breached, and they were, it was the same thing with the other thing.
Yeah.
But she called me about it because she was like, you guys got an iPad and or iPod? And I was like, well, we got iPhones. She was like, well, they're talking about this. And it was a recording. It was always a recording. And I was like, that's not legit.
Yeah.
They're not going to call you.
Yeah.
If any technology-based thing, they're not going to call you because they want you to buy a new one.
Right.
In most cases.
It's the same with the IRS. The one that really irritates me is when they pose at the IRS and they get old people.
Exactly.
Because it's like, you motherfuckers. And old people are used to like snail mail.
Yeah.
And shit like that. But now new technology, they think now everything. Yeah. They're going to contact them for everything. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. They can call me if they need to.
It ain't going to happen.
No, it's not that way.
It's so irritating.
And it sucks that they target old people because...
But as a criminal, it's a soft target, and that's what you want to target.
Because this guy my girlfriend knows, he was... I don't know if she knows him, but she knows the family. And this guy was getting older. He was starting to get dementia or Alzheimer's or whatever. And somebody knew about it. Somebody knew that he had money somewhere in his house. Yeah. And they called him up and was like, hey, we have your granddaughter. If you don't give us such and such amount of money, whatever they're going to do. I don't know what the end game was. But at least he still had it enough together to call one of his daughters and see what's going on.
Yeah.
But he could have very easily been like, okay, and like gave his money away.
It's so shitty too, man.
It is so shitty, especially like how they can just target old people, and they get away with it a lot because they don't know.
The thing, and I've only dealt with scammers twice in my life. Is that time that I mentioned, and probably 2-3 years ago, I got these calls there for a minute. Every day, 4 times to 5 times to even 6 times a day, right? From people who, the first time I was confused because I was drunk as shit. So I get this call, and they're Indian. And I don't mean Native American. I mean like Indian in India.
Yeah.
Right? So I hear, I pick up the phone. I'm like, who the fuck is this? Because I think I was trying to like answer every phone call, whatever. I was like, man, fuck it. I don't want to live new age. I don't want to live new age shit. So I answered it, and they're like, well, hello, Mr. Murphy. How are you doing? They knew my name and everything, right? And they go, what? And what confused me was, at the time, I didn't know what I didn't register because I was fucking drunk and trying to do 2 things. But they're saying all this shit. And I'm like, taxes? They go, yeah, you paid your taxes? And I'm like, yeah, I did pay my taxes. What are you talking about? They're like, no, we want to give you money. You have to pay your taxes. And I'm like, what? Like, I pay my taxes. What are you talking about? And this dude started yelling at me. He goes, no, we know you paid your taxes. That's not what we're calling you about. And I'm like, why are you yelling? And I hung up the phone on him. So then the next day, they call again. And I'm not that fucked up this time.
So it's like they want you to pay the taxes on a large sum.
Well, see, the next day, I realized what happened. And the next day, they called again.
Yeah.
And they said, hello, Mr. Murphy, you are being rewarded money from the government. And the reasons are, you paid your taxes on time. And that's what he was trying to convey. That's what he was trying to convey to me. And I'm like, what? I paid my taxes. Fuck you. So I'm listening to it. And he goes, you paid your taxes on time. You haven't, what does he say? You graduated school or something like that.
Well.
But the third one got me. The third one, I was like, wait a minute. Because the third one goes, and you don't have a felony, you haven't been to jail in your time as a citizen. And I go, what? He goes, yeah, you're a good citizen. You're being rewarded this. I'm like, wait a minute. I said, you say that I'm being rewarded this because I don't have a felony?
Yeah.
And he's like, yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know where you got your information from, dude, because I was still kind of like, what the fuck? I was like, I have a felony. What are you talking about? Click, click. And I'm like, what the fuck? So then this proceeded to happen.
Yeah, another guy.
And there was a woman next time.
I see, yeah.
And then I was just like, what the fuck? And she was like, oh, yes. Because you paid your taxes, you haven't. And I said, just listen to the whole spiel. Said the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Exact same thing this dude said. Paid my taxes on time. I haven't been to prison. I have a felony. I fucking, there was like 2 other requirements, right? Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm listening to it. She's like, yes, so you're going to get this money. I'm like, I'm going to get this money?
Yeah.
She goes, yeah, you're going to get this money.
You
I say,
pay.
Yeah, and I go, how do I get this money? She goes, go to Western Union.
Yeah.
Pay and send us 100, what was it, 150 or $500? It was
something.
It wasn't like too terrible.
No.
But it was still like, well, I don't really want to give you that much money. It wasn't like in the thousands, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to give you
even for what you're.
I don't want to give you $10, let alone 150, bitch.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, so I just go down there and do that, and I ended up I strung this bitch along because and like I said, this proceeded 4 to 5, 6 times a day, and I was fighting with these motherfuckers. Because the first time I was confused, the second time I was even more confused. Yeah. After that, I'm like, "Fuck you, people!" And when she called me, and I like basically listened. Yeah. I listened to the whole spiel. Yeah. And then when she got done with it, I said, "Okay, I'll be there. I live here."
Yeah.
And I gave her the state and the city I was living at the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I will call you in 30 minutes. If not, call me back, will you?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Absolutely." I said, "Good. Let's make this happen." So I hung up the phone, 30 minutes later, the bitch called me back. And I'm like, yeah? She's like, Mr. Murderfield, did you go down to your West? I'm like, I'm there now, but they won't take my money. I don't understand what's happening.
Oh, man.
I strung her along again. I can't remember everything I said, but I was doing like some scam on her.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck this bitch. I'm like, this piece of shit.
I wish I would be that smart.
Dude. I used to, but it, like I said, it wasn't like the second time I did that.
Yeah.
It was like the 1,000th time I've listened to these
You
fucks.
finally were like,
I'm like, you know what?
this.
Fuck these people. I'm going to string these fucks along.
Hell yeah.
And I gave that bitch a fucking dirty ride. Because I think at the end, I believe at the end of the conversation, once she realized she wasn't getting no money, I went off on her like, I have a felony. I don't pay my taxes. I'm not a good citizen. Fuck you. Like I went off on her. Like I think I went off. I can't remember.
Oh,
it was a little bit. It was like 2 or 3 years ago. But it was
That is awesome.
It was hilarious.
Oh, shit.
The first time I was really confused because the dude was yelling at me. He's like, "No, you paid your taxes." And I'm like, what? I know I paid my taxes. Why are you yelling? I was totally confused. And I was so drunk. I was like drunk, but I can remember it. I was so confused. I'm like, why are you yelling? He's like, no, you paid your taxes. I'm like, I know. They're already in the mail. I went off. That was crazy.
Oh, shit. At least you got some revenge. That's pretty awesome.
I got some.
But speaking of Western Union, I did get a Western Union scam, but unfortunately, I fell for it. I fell for two.
Really?
I fell for two scams.
Oh no!
There are two scams that I really should have known better. I really should have. But the first one involving Western Union was I was talking to a chick online. The apps episode.
Oh no! I bet the chick that you're trying to meet, she didn't date people either.
Probably. I almost.
That's why she gave you a fucked up picture.
Exactly. I bet that's true. But anyways,
and you had. This is the app story. This is how long this happened.
Yeah, it was back before.
You guys don't know the app story? Check out our old shit.
Yeah.
Which ain't really good, but the app stories, he's got some fucked up shit on it. And this is one of the occurrences.
Well, this happened, but it wasn't on the show.
I know.
I was talking to her, and like she was cool and everything. Then one night, she's all like, I gotta go to work. I ain't got no money for the babysitter, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right. So I sent her like the $30. And I'm like, there's a small, like 1% chance that maybe I'm actually helping somebody else. Beyond that, I'm probably fucked. But
I know, but you always hope for that one chance. That 1%.
Yeah. So I do it, right? And she gets it, whatever, because I did go through Western Union on my phone and stuff, and I sent the money, and she obviously probably got it. Well, a week or so later, she says something along that lines again. And she was all like, because the first time she promised that she'd pay it back. Like, that's how they got me. I'll pay it back, whoever it was. If it was a man, woman, I don't fucking know. But they gave me a woman name, and that was on the Western Union thing, so it had to have been legit. She had to at least have an ID with that name on it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, she asks again. And she was like, I'll pay you double. I'll double it. And this time I was smart. I was thinking in my head, how are you going to double it when you haven't paid me back for the first time?
Right.
Like, where's this magic money going to come from? You ain't got no money.
I know. Why do I get to give you my money? Why do I give you my money for you to double mine? It makes no sense. Hey, I need your money so I can give you more money. Wait. Yeah. Why do you need it in the first place?
Yeah, exactly. She was like, she's going to give it.
And I'm perfectly content with the money I have now. Yeah. Why do I need to double it?
But she was going to, it was like an interest thing. Yeah. She was going to give me more. But needless to say, I didn't fall for it this time. I was just like, I don't know. You didn't pay me back the first time type shit. Unfortunately, they got away with at least $35-ish of mine from that first scam. Second scam I fell for.
That sucks. You gave them actual money?
I gave them actual money.
Dude, what the fuck?
I've lost like...
Hey, let me tell you something.
All right.
I need some oil. And I got a fucking I don't need oil. I'm selling it. And it's right here. I need, I don't know, $50. You can have it all. Apparently, you give money away.
I do. I've
Don't tell me you did it again.
I didn't. It wasn't a person.
Oh, fuck.
But Christ. I did give money away.
You know,
again.
I've gave money to bums, but at least they're there, and I know what I'm giving them. You're just giving shit away.
Making it rain on these scammers.
Oh my god.
Oh shit. Yeah.
I can't. But what was the second one? How much did they get you for?
$50 this time. This time I didn't talk to somebody. I know it's fucked up.
He said I didn't talk to anybody. I just gave him $50. Like he's like, "Hello, scammers. Here's $50."
You're right.
What the fuck?
It's
at least I fought mine. Joe's like, nope, they got me.
Yeah, they got me. They did get me.
Twice!
And it sucks. This time I didn't. You're right. I didn't talk to anybody. It was one of those Facebook ads. It was like advertising Legos. Star Wars Legos. For like way discounted prices. And I was like, okay. So I click on the link. Everybody's probably seen it. And there's a new one out with a jacket. Like a hooded jacket that's made of cotton. That's the new one I see, but I know better.
I don't know.
I know better
what
now.
you're saying.
I know better
all.
now. I'll take a screenshot and put it up here. I'll show you.
He's got to, because I don't know what he's talking about.
But anyways, there was one just like this one, but it was about Legos instead of this coat thing. Anyways, it was like $50 for the Millennium Falcon. So I click on this site.
That's not bad.
And I go and I'm looking at all these Star Wars Legos. I was like, man, which one do I want? And I picked the Millennium Falcon. So in my excitement, I'm missing all these red flags that are everywhere, like grammar, misspelling, shit like that. But the one red flag I do see is they have other, like, I don't know what they're called. What would they be called? Like if they had Harry Potter, other like styles, other things.
Genres?
Something, because they had Harry Potter Legos, like the city Legos and other stuff, and you can click on these logos and go to the and see what they have.
And they would charge you $50 every time you click.
No.
That would be a better scam that I would believe on.
No.
Like I clicked it, and then next thing you know, $2,000 was taken out of my bank account.
This whole thing is set up like a website where you buy stuff off the website. So when you click on the Lego City and the Lego Harry Potter, they don't have any Legos. It's just you click there and they're blank. There's nothing there. The only ones they had were Star Wars. Ooh. And I was like, well, maybe it's like a seasonal thing. Maybe it's like the McRib. Like next season they'll get the Lego City ones. You know, you never know.
McRib.
Anyways, I was stupid. And I was like, okay, I got the Lego Millennium Falcon. Nope, didn't. I paid $50 for nothing. And
did you get anything?
I got nothing because it was a scam. It was just a fake site. And I questioned it the whole time. And the reason how I caught it was I was paranoid. I had like buyer's remorse type shit.
Falcon looked like the X-Wing.
And I knew that
selling it.
I felt like there was something up, and I'd keep going back to the
USS
site.
Enterprise. Yeah, USS Enterprise. It's like I knew something was wrong. He's showing me a picture of this.
I wouldn't even be mad about it. Mad about that.
I would. I'm furious. I want the Falcon. Not some James T. Kirk bullshit.
Got something. I got shit. Because, like, I would keep going back. I felt weird about it, and I was like, then I'd go back to the site, and I'd start seeing the misspellings or grammar, and I was like, that's not a good sign, Joe. And then I'd go back, and I'd see something else. And the last thing that got me, I looked on my phone app, and when it showed the deduction that came out, it wasn't a store, it was somebody's name. And I was like, fuck. So I just gave somebody money. And then I contacted my bank and
some YouTuber.
Needless to say, I got no money.
So we got to figure that scam out.
Needless to say, I got nothing. And the bank said, fuck you. You just gave them money. We're not doing anything about it.
Wow.
Type of shit. So yeah, that's
you
like
fucked out of $50.
Probably close to $90 or so I've lost for scammers. Now, I have had my identity stolen, but that's that's different in a way.
I mean, not
because
really.
I didn't have any conversation with these people.
Yeah, that's true.
They just had my card.
That's because they buy your information.
Yeah, they got my information. They bought themselves some Pizza Hut and Jack in the Box out in California.
And Joe's social security number.
Yeah,
and now he's fucking a proud parent.
I'm compromised.
Of a fucking Lamborghini.
Yep, I'm compromised.
That sucks.
Oh yeah, it sucks. So I've lost money. One that we caught before it happened. My girlfriend's parents found a camper on Facebook that they were going to buy, and they contacted the person. And they talked to him, and it sounded legit.
Like we gotta have the money up first, and then you can have the camper.
No, they were like, she was either some spouse or something was in the military, or she was, and they needed to sell it to get some money for whatever. And it all sounded legit up until the part where you need to buy this amount of eBay cards, like gift cards, to buy it through this website.
Really?
Thing. Like, a lot of scammers anymore want you to get gift cards.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know. It's
untrackable.
Untrackable,
and shit like that. And fucking,
But yeah, they wanted them to pay through eBay cards, and where they're like, it doesn't sound legit. That's not easier than giving you money. Giving you money is way easier than going to buy this and giving you money.
Yeah, it's I mean, scammers, it's just... boggles my mind, man. And like I said, they've tried it on me a couple times now.
I mean,
and they'll try it on anybody, and they get people. The thing is, they get people that don't know any better.
Yeah, like me.
You know, that's why you see. Yeah, I know. Joe got twice. They tried to get me twice, but I ran them down a course.
You got it.
They had to get down a course to get me. And then by the end, they're like, "Is his identity really worth stealing?" Like. Do we want this trouble? Because probably not. The cops are going to come. You know what I mean? They'd be like, yeah, well, I'm Tom Warfield. You're under arrest. We've been looking for you for a while. Shit.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Oh, man. But that was scammers. You got any more?
Scammers. Unless you call them catfishing, but that was in the episode. I am an OG catfish victim.
Yeah, catfishing
is kind of
is scammers. Still don't understand
Listen to episode 4.
Whatever. Episode 4 of Drunk on the Sun.
Yeah, maybe 5. It might be 5. 5.
I don't remember.
Anyway,
it's in the top 10.
Yeah, where
it's
the
1
bad
of the 10.
is.
Where all the worst shit of the worst is. I mean, you could consider catfishing scamming. I would.
Yeah.
Completely. I don't understand the term catfishing because, like, to me, when I catfish, I'm trying to find an easy prey. Maybe that's it. Anyways, why would I would call it the Miss Piggy.
Miss Piggy, why?
Yeah. Because Miss Piggy was not hot. She was unattractive, but she perceived herself to be attractive.
Oh, I see where you're going.
You know, so it's the Miss Piggy. Fuck that shit. I've never had to experience that. Thank God.
Anyways, that was Scammers, folks. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
It was a great episode. It was some fun.
Yeah. Catch us next week.
Make sure you subscribe, like.
It's not a scam.
It's not a scam.
New content, you'll get notified.
Every fucking week we have new content. Oh, yeah. And if you like us, you will love the countless, endless library that we have of material. All over. And it's all over Spotify, Anchor, and YouTube. Sometimes Instagram.
Yeah. And Facebook.
All the time on Facebook. Yeah. So like and subscribe, all that bullshit.
All that.
And we have intros and outros. I let you know that. So once again, This was Drunk on the Sun, the podcast about anything and everything under the sun. Scammers.
See ya.
Thanks for tuning in to Drunk on the Sun. This is Joe and Tom.
Thanks for watching. Thanks to everybody. Like and subscribe.
Thank you all for subscribing and liking. From Drunk on the Sun, the podcast about everything and anything under the sun. So check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, and Instagram. We're posting new shit every week. See ya.